Welcome to Formula Friday, your weekly Formula One show. I'm Nick. That's Lewis. How's your week been, dude?
It's not been too bad. Just a lot of work and stuff. How about yourself?
I have still been on the chess grind pretty hard. And not only have I been on the grind, I last weekend I bought a physical set and I've been playing on my phone, and at the same time I'm playing on my phone like a bot or something. I'll also be playing it in person on the board just to get a different angle and actually get a 3D view of it. I've been
Okay.
I bought a book to learn different openings and tactics and just kind of give myself a crash course. It's consuming my life a little bit, and my elo's only gone up maybe 40 points.
It's. I played a game against you today, and yeah, you were doing moves that like I wasn't recognizing. I was like, I don't know what to do here. I just forfeit. I was like, yep, you got me on this one. I got nothing.
I think I am improving a little bit, at least with my vision, because that's my big issue. I played another mutual friend of ours, and I don't know what it is because you beat him pretty easily.
Yeah, I did.
But I get such tunnel vision with him and him specifically, and I don't know what it is. But I'll be thinking, "Oh, I got you. I got you. I got this. I'm gonna do this, this, and this." And I think I get too locked into my initial plan, and then he just
Yeah,
zigs instead of zagging because he doesn't really play chess that much. Like he does now, but he makes moves that you don't expect to move, like nonsensical moves, and that just completely throws me off. And he gets me every time. One of these days, I'm gonna get him though. He's my rival.
yeah. The one time I did get him, he sent me a text before I even made my move. He's like, "Oh, you got me." Blah blah. I'm like, I dude, don't. I had to like overanalyze for like 5 minutes. Like, what move is he talking about? Because I didn't see it. And if it wasn't for his text, I probably wouldn't have beat him.
I think he does that as a mind game thing because there was one of the first
Yeah.
games that I played with him. I screwed up. I missed checkmate 5 or 6 times in a row. It was really rough. But he sent me a text like, "Oh, GG, you got me." And then I looked, I'm like, "No, I didn't. I didn't get you at
Yeah.
all."
I
But
mean, it works.
I guess it works. Good on him. Congrats. You're making me go crazy and pull my freaking hair out, but that's fine. Something that doesn't make me go crazy. Good transition. Formula 1. Well, I guess I shouldn't say.
I, you're
It
having a good
doesn't
year. You're a McLaren fan, so
it doesn't make me go the same kind of crazy. Listen, being a McLaren fan in 2021, that was rough.
okay.
Especially Russia. I specifically Sochi 2021. That one hurt me more than
Mm,
anything. I'm scarred
yeah.
from that race.
Yeah. Hey, Landa, you want to come in? No, I'm good. Yeah, I'm coming in.
Hmm.
Yeah, that whole transaction.
Hmm. Well, from that street circuit to this street circuit, we're gonna go to Singapore, and we'll preview that a bit later. But first, we got some news that we got to get through, and it was kind of a sleeper news week. I feel we didn't get a whole lot of news, but we got some interesting news. Especially, I mean, closer to today, we got kind of a treasure trove of updates from Cadillac. But the very first thing I feel like we need to bring up, of course, is Roscoe Hamilton, Lewis Hamilton's English bulldog. He unfortunately had passed away. Incredible dog. I I see Roscoe as Formula One's dog. Sure, he was
yeah.
Lewis's, but he was kind of everybody's. Not just other drivers, but fans and commentators alike. Everybody loved Roscoe. He was just such a good dog. You know, he
Yeah,
just
and
lit up any
there
room he was in.
and I saw a comment this week that really kind of like put it. I don't know. They summarized his life really good, I guess. Basically saying that like he got to experience like the F1 paddock around people all the time. Lived in Monaco. I'm assuming like he lived a really good life, and just he got all these special treatments, and everyone loved him, and everyone adored him. And it's like they finished up their comment by saying, "I don't know what doggy heaven looks like, but it can't be an upgrade from the life he just lived."
You got to be Lewis. Lewis treated Roscoe so well, and he gave all of his love and support to that dog. And I can speak for both of us when I say our hearts both go out to Lewis. Losing a pet and a best friend and a family member is never easy, and I know that
Yeah.
that's exactly what Roscoe was to Lewis. So I know he's not taking it easy. Nobody should. Nobody would. But I hope that Lewis can grieve. I hope he gets the time to grieve, and then he can also take the time to center himself before the race this weekend.
Yeah, and it sucks that it's happened like on a race weekend out of all things, but
It really does.
as weird as it is, Lewis Hamilton's you know, 7-time champion. I feel like if anybody could come out of this stronger in a weird
8.
way, it could be him.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kind of a bummer to start on, but it was very important. It was very important to say I loved Roscoe so much. Even in F125, they have a bunch of Roscoe stickers that you can put on your car and your
Do
helmet
they?
and everything. Yes,
That's
I
awesome.
have Roscoe decals all over my car. I love him so much. Good dog. There's not really an easy way to transition to this. So I'm just going to do it. Max Verstappen won at the Nordschleife in
No.
his GT3 race. Now, I will say,
Yeah,
there's a big
it's
old asterisk
amazing.
here.
And I saw like a stat. It's the first time since like 1977 or something like that, where like, good.
Oh no, you go ahead. I did not see the stat
What's
that
that?
you. Oh no, audio issues. There's audio delay.
Yeah, oh no. Okay. You go ahead. Just I'll let you just take the stage and you go ahead and talk.
Okay. So Max won the Nordschleife in his first GT race. He was racing in a Ferrari. I will put a caveat here and say that most of the drivers that would have been racing with him are actually in Japan this weekend, or they were in Japan last weekend for the Fuji WEC race. So even though it's impressive that Max his very first race in a GT3 car, he won. That it's not nothing. I will say he wasn't necessarily driving in the full-fledged field that he probably should have been driving against.
Okay. Which makes sense. And also it was a team thing too. He did do
Mhm.
this with another driver.
He did.
But going off the stat, I think it was like the first time since like 1977 where F1 driver has won a race in two different series in the same week.
Oh my.
I think I think the last one was like I can't remember, but it was some guy who did the Watkins Glen like endurance race and a Formula One race in the same week.
That's
But
incredible. I
it's
love that.
insane. Yeah.
I mean, congrats, Max. It's cool, and clearly, I mean, whenever you're bored of Formula One, which feels like it might be coming soon, you have another avenue to dominate in until you get bored of that one.
Which I think he's gonna be really good. I mean, he always does GT3s and stuff, and I don't know. I think he's gonna be good if he
Mhm.
decides to switch.
Now we're gonna move on to what I'm gonna call the Cadillac chunk, Lewis. We have a
Okay.
lot of Cadillac news that came out over this last week. The first one, what I think is the biggest one, Cadillac recruited the former project manager at Audi, Adam Baker. This guy, he's solid. I think he at Audi, he was there for 4 years starting in 2021. He was basically one of the people tasked with setting the foundations and the groundwork when Sauber and Audi kind of converge and expand into just turning into Audi. He literally crafted the blueprint for their assault, is what I've seen it called. But like
Okay.
leadership shifts and everything, he ran that project. And I know it's kind of too early to call the shot of this being a slam dunk hire because we don't know what Audi is going to look like when Audi actually shows
Yeah.
up. But the fact that this guy was basically setting the groundwork in all of this, he's going to be good because he is a tenure. He had over 2 decades at Cosworth, and he was one of the pivotal figures in the F1 engine battles. in the early 2000s. He worked with
Okay.
BMW as they acquired Sauber, so he's been there for a hot minute, and he wrapped that up in 2009. He's also worked in Formula E, WEC. He was the FIA safety director from 2018 for 3 years.
Hmm. That's cool.
It feels like that Cadillac is continuing to build the blocks of what's going to be a very successful racing program.
Yeah, it seems like they're making so many good steps right now. Like good steps on paper. Obviously, we don't know what it's gonna turn out to be as it comes to fruition, like as they're racing. But like as of now, they're making so many good steps in paper.
They really are. It seems like they are just kind of doing everything right with what's available. They are making, chess term, the best moves or the smart moves. And I think
Yeah,
it will do
and
nothing but help push them forward, especially with this driver lineup that they're building. And moving on to the other drivers that they have hired on. Pietro Fittipaldi and Charlie Eastwood have been brought into Cadillac to help develop the car and run in the sim. This is huge. Pietro Fittipaldi, of course, is a name that people know. He
yeah, because his grandfather is Emerson Fittipaldi, which was Formula One champion, I believe. Yeah,
yes.
two-time Formula One champion. He's Petro is raced in IndyCar, is raced in Formula One. He's had two starts back in Haas in 2020, I believe. He was like their backup driver after Roman Grosjean's incident.
Mhm.
Uh, and yeah, he's good. It's not like he has a family legacy. So again, it's another smart move. I feel like
It
if you're
is.
gonna get anybody, like have someone who's been around the sport literally his whole life.
And this kid has an incredible portfolio too. Like Indy, IMSA, European Le Mans, NASCAR Wall All American Series. This guy is a very well-rounded driver in all of these series at only the age of, now he is 29, so I shouldn't call him a kid, I guess, but he does he adds more to that Cadillac vibe of getting these people who have experience, who know what they're doing and know what they're feeling for. So when they bring in the new people, they're kind of building a foundation. That's exactly what it
Yeah.
is. They're just building that foundation more, just layer upon layer upon layer.
Yeah, and like it's having that name too. You because you have Andretti now, like with the team, like he's a visor, I think Andretti is for the
Mhm,
team, but like and then you have Fittipaldi, so you have like two good names in Formula One and
mhm.
just there. It's crazy.
I my hype is starting to get a little off the rails with Cadillac, and I know next season they're not gonna be some incredible underdog Cinderella movie story. How cool would it be if they were? They're not going to.
It would be.
I know that, but I can't help to think that they're gonna be competitive in 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. And because like yes, we have new regulations coming, but like they're having time to build their motor, and the kind of the best part about it is they're leasing out the Ferrari engine, but then they're still going to be building their own engine, and they can see what other people are doing and how it's working, and then they have the experience with the Ferrari engine firsthand, so they kind of know like how it works and what they want out of it. Like, oh, we can do this a little bit better. They're making like these good steps, and I've said it before. I don't know how I feel like because I'm a Ford guy. I've always have been a Ford guy. It's like
Mhm.
so weird that this GM team is doing so good.
I
It's kind of yeah. It's backwards for me.
I've always kind of been a Chevy guy, so it works out for me. But I'm also mostly a Nissan, and I'm mostly a Nissan and JDM guy. But I I just can't help but be very excited for a true American F1 team. I feel a sense of pride that I haven't felt in this sport really yet. Because the closest part of the reason I like McLaren is it is kind of the most Americanized F1 team, especially with all the
Yeah,
sponsors and Zach Brown being Zach Brown.
yeah.
So having that kind of vibe from a true blue American team with experienced drivers, a experienced what's the word? Brand Cadillac, knowing what they're
Yeah.
doing, and they're going to be a factory team. Well, I guess I shouldn't say they're going to be a factory team. How okay? How much longer after GM gets their engine built do you think it'll take Cadillac to become a factory team?
So that's a good question because I think Audi's building their own engine, right?
Hmm.
So that leaves. I'm trying to think of all the other teams. I can see McLaren. If the Cadillac's engine good, why wouldn't McLaren switch?
That would be good. And a part of me is a little annoyed and frankly a little shocked that McLaren has just never decided to build their own. And I know they had that thing with Honda forever. And I mean
Yeah,
McLaren Honda, it's a legendary combo. Not so much in the recent times, but 80s, 90s. It always kind of shocks me that McLaren hasn't made their own engines though. They make really good
yeah.
cars.
I believe like it wasn't the MP44 like that car. I believe that was Cosworth. I could be wrong, but
That was Honda.
that's one of the greatest engines. Was it Honda that
That
back
was
then?
Honda.
Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, it's you know what? I'll want to take back my McLaren. I think somebody that I can see switching and completely. This is just speculation. I have heard nothing on this. This is just top of my head. Williams. They want to separate themselves from Mercedes even more.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they cut all ties that they can?
It all obviously none of this matters if it's a bad engine. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
got to
very
be
true.
I mean, it's probably the same reason McLaren hasn't want to move on. Mercedes always seems to make really good engines. That's their whole bit. They just nail it
Yeah,
every single time. Even if the
it's
aerodynamics are
not.
bad, the engine is always good.
Yeah, and it's not always that like the engine just puts out more power wherever because that's like regulated. It's reliable. Like, look how many times there's been a DNF due to an engine failure. Like the time Lando DNF this year, that was an oil pump
Yeah,
or
that
an
was
oil
an
issue.
anomaly. That was so weird.
Yeah, it wasn't even engine because they didn't have to replace really anything. It was just like an oil thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's so they make it really reliable, and it's way different than like other manufacturers like Renault. Like, look how they were back when they were with Red Bull. That
Mhm.
was very unreliable.
It kinda sucks to see Renault falling so hard because we talked about this last week. They have such a excuse me, I just ate. They have such a rich history of making really good innovations within Formula 1, but that was 40 years ago at this point.
Yeah, they've kind of been like okay with mediocrity at this point.
They really have been, and that's disappointing. If you're gonna be there,
Yeah,
be there. Even Haas has stepped it up.
yeah, which is weird. Gene Haas doesn't want to spend money. He just uses this as literally advertisement. But it's weird to see them fall to the wayside. And put it in like American terms, it feels like the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls were really good in the 90s. They had a little bit of time with D Rose, but then they are just okay with mediocrity.
Mhm.
Kind of seems like Renault. Really, they used to be really good. They had like a little peak, and then they're just like, yeah, it is what it is.
I will never understand that mindset of just being fine with it. 'Cause, yeah, you're on the biggest stage in
Yeah.
the world, but that should also encourage you to want to make the best possible thing you can make. And maybe they do. Maybe they are trying and they just can't figure it out for whatever reason. It's
Yeah,
weird that
and
they haven't at least made some progress.
yeah, I mean, and like they keep on switching out the second driver, like thinking that'll
Yeah.
fix it, or it's maybe. I mean, it's all kind of driver situationally. It's
Mhm.
been bad ever since the Oscar Piastri tweet, but uh, that shot themselves in the foot with that because I believe the story goes that they missed the deadline by a couple days or whatever. And
Mhm.
they just never did it, and they shot themselves in the foot with that because now the guy that they had is potentially a world champion.
The tweet heard round the world. The tweet quote round the world?
The twitten, I twitten. I don't know. I don't know.
uh, We'll obviously keep an eye on all things Cadillac because okay, I shouldn't speak for you. I will keep an eye on all things Cadillac because I'm starting to adopt them as my second team. I
Yeah,
already I love them
as much
so
as I don't
much,
want to
dude.
admit it, as much as I don't want to admit it, I'm kind of a fan of them already, and I don't like it. But
I'm
this is
gonna
just
get
between us. No one else hears this, right? It's just me and you.
yeah, it's just us. I have already committed myself to buying a Valtteri hat the second I can. I'm going to
Ooh,
get a Valtteri Cadillac hat.
yeah. It's just and their driver pairing is so good too.
It's
It's
such a good
two
pairing.
championship drivers. It's they're making every step they can that's in the right direction.
Mhm. Another team that has made steps in the right direction, but they're also kind of like Alpine or Renault, where they just swap out drivers hoping something will work. Red Bull, the driver academy, prospect Ernesto Rivera joins the F3 grid next season. He has been kind of an up and comer in the lower series, F2 and all of that. He's another driver from Mexico. There's another connection. And I've heard mixed things about him. I've never actually watched him race because it's really hard to watch any of these like Formula 4, Euro Cup.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
him being a Red Bull junior driver is usually a pretty good sign. And a lot of people I've seen online just discourse of, oh, is this the same guy who made these mistakes? Which I'm not going to put any stock in that because he's how old? He's a child. He's 16.
He's
He's
a
a six,
child.
he's a child and he's learning how to race in these cars that aren't easy to race. I'm going to cut him some slack and I'm excited to see what happens. I know F3 doesn't always translate to F2 to F1, but it's always exciting to kind of have a new name to keep an eye on. It makes watching the lower series a bit more entertaining, especially because F3 and F2 confuse me just because the teams in like F3 and F2 aren't necessarily tied to F1 teams. Sometimes they are, and if
Yeah,
there is a McLaren driver for this team, their car will be painted like a McLaren car, but their teammate's car will be a completely different thing, which NASCAR did the same thing. NASCAR has done the same thing, but
yeah,
it's I'm so used to the uniformity of Formula 1 where you can look at two cars and see, oh, those are teammates, same car.
yes,
Same team, but it's still
yeah,
exciting to watch. There's been really good racing in F2 this season that I've watched a few races of, but not all. But it's just, something to keep an eye on. Ernesto Rivera and Mexico
yeah.
treats their drivers very well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him somewhere higher up, especially after Sergio hangs it up, which I suspect won't be much longer after next season.
Yeah, going off of this, the Red Bull Driver Academy has always kind of produced good drivers in a weird way.
Hmm.
Granted, like maybe they're not always good with Red Bull or AlphaTauri, Toro Rosso, Visa Cash App Racing Bulls,
I
but
hate that name.
like yeah, me too. But they have like the Driver Academy, which is ran by Helmut Marko, which is a whole different thing. I'm not a huge fan of him.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, as of right now, the people on the Formula One grid that are from the Red Bull Driver Academy: Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda, Pierre Gasly, Max Verstappen, Alex Albon, and Danny Rick RP. But like those, like are from the Red Bull Academy, which is like weird. And also Carlos Sainz,
Hmm.
former uh, Red Bull Academy, and they produced people like Daniel Kvyat, which did not have a great Formula One career.
With the
He had
Russian
a decent
torpedo.
one. Yeah, the Russian torpedo. But I think he still races in like WEC right now, which is awesome. And also I think most importantly, the Red Bull Driver Academies produce a guy goes by the name of Sebastian Vettel. I don't know if you ever
Mm.
heard of that guy.
People forget about Seb.
The, oh, Seb, I love Seb. Multi-time champion. Like they produced obviously between two drivers, multi champions. But yeah, it does have some. The Rebel Driver Academy does have some air of excellence to it. It just seems like there's a lot of people fighting for the same position. But granted, Rebel does have 4 seats compared to everybody else having 2.
A part of me is surprised that over the last few years, the luster of the Red Bull Driver Academy hasn't seemed to wear off. With
Yeah.
the way I
I
mean, it's well noted how they treat their drivers, but I guess you made a point too where those drivers are still in Formula One having decent careers at other teams. So maybe it's people see it as more of a stepping stone and not a career. I hope they don't anyway, because that's not good job security.
yeah, it's very yeah. I don't know how they so I don't know personally how it goes into like a Red Bull, how they train their junior team, like if they have special treatment or if they give them access to certain things. Like I don't know. Maybe that could be the reason. But yeah, I kind of go agree with you. It's like it, it seems like there's a revolving door and you're always on the hot seat because you are not Max Verstappen. Which I don't know. That's the pros and cons of the Red Bull Driver Academy, in my opinion.
It really is. Well, we can transition this way. You mentioned him earlier, sorta. We'll get there. Stick with me. So, an article has come out from RMC Motori. It's an Italian racing website. And I'm just going to read you this headline, Lewis.
Okay. Let me
F1
listen.
driver market, Leclerc 2027 is looking around. Here are the three options on the table. The options: McLaren, Red Bull, and are
I'm
you ready?
waiting. I'm bracing right now. I'm literally bracing.
Oh, I lost it. Oh no. Oh, I had this
Oh
whole
no.
thing. I was
Oh.
gonna announce it. It was gonna be this really fun Aston.
Ooh. Ugh. Ugh. Ooh.
In
This is my live reaction.
2027.
I'm trying to get my live reaction. I don't know how I feel about this.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
So essentially, and this is probably nothing story, but it's a fun thing to talk about, and it made me start thinking about some stuff. So essentially, Charles's contract is up around 2027, and along those lines, nobody knows what's going to happen to Max at Red Bull in 27 because it seems like he's keeping his options open. Um, Nobody knows what's going to happen with Lewis in Ferrari in 2027 because his contract is only through next year, I believe. And I am of the opinion that I think he's going to retire after.
Yeah, I I kind of have subscribed to your hot take that he would have retired after the Abu Dhabi incident.
Hmm. To add more to this tangled mess, Mark Webber, famously Oscar Piastri's manager, claims that he could be a Ferrari driver. And and here's the thing that I'm really sticking on. Carlos Sainz might end up back at Ferrari because of all of this weird silly season mess. Apparently it's depending on how the 2026 season goes. Especially if Charles leaves Ferrari. We could have a Sainz Piastri Ferrari lineup. Now, I have
Like,
multiple questions for you here.
okay.
One, if any of these three teams, where could you see Charles going between Red Bull, McLaren, or Aston?
So I can't say that he's staying for Ferrari. He has to leave.
No, I,
Like,
I guess that's also an
okay.
option. That's also on the table.
I can't see him leaving. It's just because of the story of like I don't know if you've heard the story about like when his dad was dying, he told
Hmm.
his dad that he signed with Ferrari even though he hasn't yet.
Hmm.
And like I there's that like aura and air to it. So I can't really see him leaving. But I'm just gonna play this game, he has to leave. I'm gonna pick a team. I, personally, I would pick Aston, especially if Adrian Newey's good. Just because
Hmm.
I would personally would follow Adrian Newey.
I I'm also leaning that way. Also, I was wrong, by the way. Typical me. It wasn't Red Bull, it was Mercedes. So it's McLaren, Aston, Mercedes, who Charles' management
Ooh,
has reached out to. So I apologize. I got that wrong. I call that a Nick fact.
I would switch it around. I would go Mercedes then. I think
Yeah.
Mercedes has, yeah, I think they would be, if I had the choice between those three, yeah. I personally would pick probably Mercedes or Aston, but
Mercedes is a good pick. I'm gonna say Aston just because Fernando's either gonna retire soon or Lawrence is finally gonna kick Lance out of that seat. And they're gonna want somebody who's good and has experience, and Charles fits the bill. Especially if they want Aston to start, you know, showing that they can do what it takes.
okay, yeah, but I also, if you gotta think it, like, he is with Lewis, so maybe if he talks to Lewis, like, hey, I kind of want out, like, what should I think about? Like, I could see Lewis selling him Mercedes.
Yeah, I could kind of see that. But at the same time, if Lewis is going to get out after 26, would he care?
I feel like in a weird way he would still care because it's kind of like that your first love type of situation. Like, he has McLaren as his first love, but then he has his like, that's his like fling, his first love, and then he has that like past marriage of
McLaren
Mercedes.
is the girl he took to the prom, but he married
Yep.
Mercedes. And now
Yeah.
Ferrari's the mistress?
Maybe it's the
The
late
post
life
divorce
settled down type.
girlfriend?
Yeah, maybe maybe that's what it is. The midlife crisis. You get like some fashion
Oh, it's
model.
perfect. Midlife crisis Ferrari. It's hand in hand.
There we go.
So the second part of this question, this whole topic, is Carlos Sainz. People in this article seem it's an Italian publication, so I'm sure they're still very biased because Carlos Sainz is incredible at Ferrari and I miss him every day at Ferrari. But them thinking that Carlos is going to go back to Ferrari, I think is not a good take. He feels the way he talks about Williams and the way Williams talks about him, it feels very much like they will do whatever they can to keep Carlos there. And I think Carlos is very much fine at Williams, especially if I mean, he's talked about it. They have a whole plan to build up the team, and you can already start to see there's a word again, foundation, word of the day. The bricks of that foundation starting to be built at the second half of this season. I can't see Carlos wanting to walk away from that because he wanted this kind of project and he's kind of the face of it.
Yeah, and Williams has taken dramatic steps forward just recently. Like, they keep on making the right steps, and then why wouldn't you want to continue to be a part of this?
Absolutely, I
It's not
agree.
like they're going to be in mediocrity for like a long time. They're not really there anymore. Obviously, he scored a podium.
That's true. My my second kind of takeaway from this whole article is that I can see Oscar going to Ferrari.
That if you that's a, I can't, especially if he wins the championship.
I don't see Oscar staying at McLaren, especially if they keep up the two number one driver thing. I think Oscar wants to be the number one driver, and Lando's not going anywhere.
No.
I think that
Oh,
I can see a world where Oscar ends up moving to Ferrari. It's got the cachet, it has the pedigree. Who wouldn't want to drive for Ferrari? It's that sub quote we keep bringing up. Everyone's a Ferrari fan, even if you're not a Ferrari fan. And I
yeah,
think the
but
Tifosi would love him. He's successful, he's young, and he's kind of got a bit of that Kimi Räikkönen Seb vibe to him, you know?
yeah, he definitely has the Iceman vibe to him. He okay, in this hypothetical, that second Red Bull seat is open. What about Lando to Red Bull? Team up with Max, his friend.
I didn't think about that. I
Because Max and Lewis, or Max and Lewis, Max and Lando are obviously good friends.
they are very good friends. You're right. I wouldn't I wouldn't like that, but I
Both are good drivers.
can kind of see it. But I don't
Yeah.
know. So Lando's also really smart. And if he goes to Red Bull, he's no longer a number 1. He's going to be the second Red Bull driver, which spec or not spec joke or not, that seat is cursed. 100% that seat's
Okay.
cursed. And I don't think Lando wants to disrupt his situation. He's kind of in a comfortable situation right now with McLaren. He kind of always has been. I can't
Yeah,
see him logically, I guess. I can't see him wanting to move on from that until they kick him out.
yeah. Follow up: is that second Red Bull seat cursed, or was it Christian Horner making it cursed? Because obviously we haven't seen much post Christian Horner. It's kind of too early to tell,
Mhm.
but uh, all things have shown that Christian Horner is just a fangirl of Max or
Yeah,
whoever is in that number one seat. Seb, Max.
he was kind of a cancer a little bit.
Yeah,
He tainted the Red Bull waters for sure, but at the same time, he's the reason that they were so successful to begin with. They're in uncharted territory right now. So I guess maybe it is cursed, maybe it isn't cursed, but either way, I can't see Lando wanting to disrupt his situation. I guess
yeah, I can't
it
really
all
see
kind
it
of
either.
hinges
It's
on
just like
next season.
throw it out there. Yeah. Again, we're going back to this. I think we do it every week.
We
New
do.
regulations next week. We gotta have like a sign behind us. Hey, new regulations next week.
We're,
None of this can matter.
you're right. We really do. But even
Instead
in
of the green screen, it's just
2023,
that.
Lando didn't want to go anywhere in 2023. And that is
Yeah.
famously in this era of Formula One, probably McLaren's worst. When I say this era, I mean the 2020s. But that's was probably McLaren's worst season in a while. And
Yeah.
he's stuck around and he's benefiting from sticking around, you know?
Yeah, that could be, but that was also when he's young. So now he has more experience underneath his belt. He can actually like know what he's looking for in a car and everything.
I don't like that you're kind of talking me into this. Just a little bit. I'm gonna cautiously subscribe to it. I don't.
Okay. Here's the downside, though. I don't know if
Mhm.
it would work because doesn't he have the monster sponsorship?
I mean, these sponsors
Granted, he
flip
would
flop
lose
all
that
the time.
sponsorship.
Who does it's
Yeah,
fine.
but
Monster was with
I'm
Mercedes
just playing
for
devil's advocate.
Monster was with Mercedes for a while. They just kind of they glom onto wherever.
Yeah, that's very true.
That is all the news I think of the week. It mostly Cadillac heavy, but that's fine because I'm in on Cadillac. I'm very in on Cadillac. But now it's time to talk about a track that I don't really have a whole lot of takes on. I Singapore. We're going to talk about Singapore. Last season,
Another street track.
yes, another street track. And this is a street track that I don't like. I don't like most of it. It's not Baku. It will never be Baku. No street track will ever be better than Baku, except I kind of like Las Vegas, which is also weird to say as a McLaren fan. But
Uh,
yeah, McLarens don't do well in Las Vegas for some reason. I hope that that's different this season because they've cracked the code on their car. But
eh.
we're not talking about Las Vegas right now. We're talking about Singapore. Lewis, what can you tell me about Singapore?
Singapore is very obviously it's a street track, narrow uh track. It's a lot of 90-degree corners. They did have to redo the first part for a little bit. It is a great track, and one of my favorite like memories overall from this track. I implore anybody to listen. Go watch. I think it was during qualifying. It was Nico Rosberg qualifying at Singapore. I think the video's on like Video Motion or something. It's not, I don't know if it's on YouTube, but anyways, it shows all of his movements in the car through his qualifying lap on this tight circuit. He did like some like 40 some control switches from like brake bias to
Jeez.
like roll bars and all this stuff, just doing every little knob and twist he can in between each little corner to get that 1/10 out. And it is insane. It gives you a real perspective of like what the drivers do, and that's like one of my biggest memories from this track.
Hmm.
But yeah, it is a tight track, and I don't know, street track, it's not a great overtaking area. Like again, street track. But it does here the one exciting part, possible rain in Singapore this weekend.
I do like rain. I do like a good rain storm at a street track. even if sometimes it doesn't always go my way, which I'm a little bit hoping for a repeat of last year, of course. Lando won, Max got second, and Oscar got third. Fun side note, Lewis. Out of all the tracks that Max Verstappen has raced at on this current calendar, this is the only track that he's never won.
Which is really weird. But like, I guess when Checo was there, he won here.
Yeah. It
So
does seem
yeah.
off that a four-time world champion hasn't won at this track specifically. Maybe that's what he's waiting for. Maybe he wins this track and that's when he decides to retire after next season and then move on to GT. Maybe this is just the last thing he's chasing. He knows it. He's like, I just need this trophy and then I'm done.
Yeah, that's I completed everything. I'm good.
Another highlight.
Which I is weird, but I can see Max doing that. It's super, but yeah.
Another highlight from this race last season. Not only was it, now this isn't the highlight. This is sad. It was Danny Rick's last race in Formula One. And here's the highlight. Daniel Ricciardo still holds the fastest lap record in Singapore's history, 134.486.
Yeah, and he did that last year, right? Like,
he did that last
during
year,
the race.
And it stopped Lando from getting his first ever Grand Slam.
Yeah, I mean, it was what a Danny Rick thing to do. Go out on top, go out with a bang. And the worst part about like the Danny Rick situation last year, sorry to go on a little tangent.
No, you're fine.
No one knew. It was all speculation. Like, oh, this like rumor is this is your last race. And it's like he didn't really know, but he kind of knew.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like this very bittersweet moment. It's like, well, for the last time we're watching Danny Rick, and it's like we think, which it's the helmet Marco thing to do. He should have just been like, hey, this is going to be your last race. Go out with a bang. Do what you gotta do. Say goodbye. Blah blah blah. Another reason I do not like helmet Marco.
Yeah, he kind of sucks. He kind of really sucks.
A little bit. Yeah.
So that's Singapore. I don't really have a whole lot to say about last year's Singapore race. Honestly, it was a pretty run of the mill kind of race.
Was it 2 years ago though? We did have that good moment at Singapore where was that the first smooth operator in a Ferrari where he helped Lando behind because Lando was under attack from George Russell in the Mercedes, and he kept him within DRS range just so he can keep up and not get past, which in a way kind of helped Carl like himself. But it was a great moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was over the radio telling me, "Hey, what's the gap behind? Well, I need to know so I can keep him within DRS range," which is weird, but like it was a cool like 3D chess type move.
I do like chess.
Yeah,
yeah. It's a race. A lot of people seem to like this track. It's obviously Alex Albon's home race. A lot of the drivers like this track specifically because of where their hotel is in relation to the track. They don't have to get up super early and go on this big tour just to get to the track. They can just basically wake up and walk out the door, then the track's right there. So from a driver comfort standpoint, this track kicks ass. But just Alex Albon DNF'd last season, didn't he? Here?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it looks like around lap 14.
I was focused on the Danny Rick thing last year. I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah, Danny Rick, by the way, finished 18th last season.
Yeah, he did not finish good, but he was pushing. He was going out with a bang. I remember that, and I was super excited when I saw that fastest lap.
Mm-hmm.
Back when they gave points for fastest lap.
Tangent. I missed that. I missed the fastest lap points thing because it allowed my favorite thing in Formula One to happen, where a team would pit for soft tires with 5 laps to go. They were out of the top 10, so they wouldn't get the points for fastest lap, but they did it anyway, just to be petty. I loved that so much. It was such a fun, dumb little thing, and they took it away from us.
Yeah, and I don't. What's the reason they took it away? Safety? Maybe that's the only thing I could think of them trying to say.
Or maybe they just got sick of the pettiness.
But I
was really funny. It's like, why is this person pitting for soft tires on lap 50? What's happening?
Yeah, and like back when the Mercedes Red Bull battle was happening, and like Checo would be like out of the points or whatever and say, all right, we're gonna pick you so you get softs, get that fastest lap to get away from Lewis. So he doesn't get that point, and it doesn't have that point differential between him and Lewis or Max. It was awesome. And what's the point to not letting the cars go fast? Like you want the fastest lap because to show that you're the fastest driver. Formula One, fast cars.
You're right. Fast cars, fast and straight, fast in turn. We both like cargo fast.
Yeah.
Time to move on to our predictions for this race. We're not really keeping count of the predictions. It's just kind of a fun, dumb thing to do. But if we were, you and I would be tied. We
Oh,
both have gotten equal amount of things right and wrong in our predictions. So go ahead and start. What is your first prediction for this race? By the way, we'll do 3 predictions total. We do 2 regular predictions, and then a bold prediction will be our third.
to be fair, I think you should be ahead because you do get one bold prediction right. I feel like a bold prediction's worth 2.
We're
But
not assigning points. This doesn't matter.
it's vibes. We're vibing.
It's all vibes.
You're just out vibing me. It's fine.
I'm out vibing you.
Your aura is insane. So, anyways, my prediction
For real.
is V-carb double points this weekend.
It's starting to feel like a layup prediction, and I'm happy for you. I'm happy that
Yeah,
this
I'm
is starting
so
to feel like a
happy
layup
for
for you as a V-carb fan.
Liam is like doing good, and like I said it 2 weeks ago, he needs to start doing good, and he's doing good, and I'm so happy for it. I'm here for it. I am here for Liam doing good in the V-carb. I'm here for Isaac doing good, but not too good where he gets demoted, but doing good.
I feel like it's already set in stone. I think Isaac might be moving up to Red Bull next season. But this isn't bold season predictions. New season.
New season this year.
My first prediction of this, Yuki in the points. I think Yuki is kind of in prove-it mode right now. It's related to what I just said, where I'm pretty sure Isaac is going to be the second Red Bull driver. I think Yuki's in prove-it mode, and he's doing whatever he can. So in 2027, when Mercedes or Aston or Ferrari need a driver, Yuki can be like, hey.
Yeah. I can see it. Yuki's good.
Yuki is good. The rest of the season is just resume races for Yuki. He just needs to build up that resume and prove his worth, which sucks that any driver ever gets put in this position. But Yuki, when he can shine, he can shine. And I've watched him since his rookie season and how he's grown both as a driver, but also how he handles himself over the radio. As you remember, 2021 Yuki, yikes.
Oh, I love, yeah.
2021 Yuki was very fun, but yikes. He's developing very well, and I don't know if he's ever going to be a championship winning driver, but he's a solid number 2 at the very least. He's a solid number 2 somewhere.
Yeah,
just not Red Bull.
Yeah, and like, I was about to say what you just said about his radio. Like his attitude has completely changed. It's very, very famously in Drive to Survive, the documentary that follows Formula One around. They followed Yuki. They had to move Yuki closer to Milton Keynes, which is Red Bull headquarters, so he can work out better and like actually do stuff instead of just do nothing. And working out is part of being a Formula One driver. It's you're an athlete taking 4Gs per corner and stuff.
Which I bet he hated, by the way, because isn't V-carb, weren't they in Italy? So he's going from Italy to Milton Keynes, where it's definitely not Italy.
Yeah, they're closer to Imola than they are anything. That's the closest track that they have. That's their testing track. Really quick side note, side prediction. If you were to guess a team for Yuki to go to, who would you go to?
Aston.
Ooh.
He's got that Adrian Newey connection. Aston desperately needs drivers, especially, again, I'm pretty sure Fernando's going to be done soon.
Yeah.
I think Yuki going to Aston makes the most sense to me. Right now, anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I got a question before a statement. Did Alpine sign Ocon? Or not Ocon, their second driver? Sorry, blanking on names right now. Yeah, but have they signed him?
You know, I haven't been keeping up with the contracts.
Yeah. Colapinto, my bad, sorry. But yeah, because why not have Pierre Yuki come back together? Oh, that
Pierre
was the best
is
pairing. I love this.
they were really good. Pierre is the only one on a multi-year deal right now. Colapinto doesn't have anything set in stone.
I'm just saying, those two have great chemistry together.
They do have great chemistry, but I don't want to see Yuki come back into the spotlight of the allegations that he's a bad driver by going to a bad team.
Uh, true. All
Next
right.
year it doesn't
Going
matter
to
because next year's new regulation. It doesn't matter.
hey, new
It doesn't
regulations.
matter. New
It's
regs.
like the cinema. Yeah, instead of cinema, it's just new regulations.
New regs. Stop.
Um,
I no, I'll go on record right now. I think Aston ends up the eventual spot that Yuki goes to.
that would be a good spot. Yeah.
That or he just gets out of
Mom-
Formula One altogether and finally opens his restaurant. Because as we all know, Yuki just wants to be a chef. He loves food.
he, he does. Uh, yeah, I can see that. Okay, my next prediction. Uh, kind of a weird one. I don't know the stats behind this, but the car that starts on pole finishes first.
Ooh, that is a fun one. I'm not sure what the stats on this one either. I can do a quick little look-see just over the last few
Yeah,
years. Let's just do it starting in
yeah,
22 with this reg.
yeah. Because again, tight track, but with rain, it's going to be really hard to overtake, especially going off track. The only way to really overtake would be red flag, safety car, or like some sort of piss cycle BS. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I think that could be uh good, and I think that leads to Saturday mean almost more than Sunday. I feel like that could be the thing too,
Yeah.
at least in my opinion.
Okay, so in 2022, Charles qualified first, but Sergio won. Charles got second.
Okay, so I'm not too far off there.
Yep, and now I need to hit the back button a couple times. 2023, Carlos won the race, but the person who qualified first was Carlos. All right, well, there's 1-1. And
Okay.
then last year, obviously, Lando won and Lando started first. Okay. That's a good prediction, I think. I think that's a pretty solid prediction.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, like I said, I didn't know the stats on it. It was just a speculation.
My next prediction is going to be a sad one, but
Hmm.
excuse me, with the way this season's been going, Danny Rick's lap time will be broken. Someone will do it,
Yeah.
probably McLaren. I don't know. But it's going to happen. It's either going to be a McLaren or it's going to be Max.
So will that stand if it's raining? Raining, I wonder. Like I wonder if that'll have something to do with
Oh,
it.
that's a good point. I'll stick with it. I think it'll happen.
That's fine. Yeah. My bold prediction.
Drum roll.
Albano finishes top 5.
Huh. Yeah, that's
I
pretty
could see him.
bold.
Yeah, just tire whisperer for 1.
Hmm.
Williams good. Home track 3. Like I can see it happening. Just he's a tire whisperer, and I think that especially if it is raining or if it is wet, like who knows the Singapore weather better than the guy from around there?
Yeah, no, you're right. That is his home track. So I
Yeah,
like
because
that.
he's
It
from Thailand. So or is it
feels like he
Thailand?
doesn't really historically
Hmm.
do super well at this track, though, does he?
I'm not sure. To be fair, I don't think he does very well at any street track, really.
Yeah.
But I just know him really as a tire whisperer. So
Well, I mean, that's what makes it a bold prediction. They're not called italicized predictions.
layups.
Yeah. My bold prediction, and full disclosure, I had something else written here, but as we have been talking, I decided to do a little and tweak it. My bold
Okay.
prediction for Singapore is Lance Stroll will finish in the points.
That is, it's weird how that is turning more and more bold. Just that statement is as the season goes on.
He We've mentioned this before. Everybody's mentioned this before. He turns into Senna in the rain.
The-
The
yeah.
spirit of past Formula One drivers possesses Lance Stroll, specifically when it rains. And for whatever reason, he just races better in the wet than he does at any other time. And we're about at the Lance Stroll showing up at the race cycle, mentally showing up at the race cycle. He had a couple bad races and he's going to show up for one good race. And I think this is it. It's kind of got all the recipe for a nice little Lance Stroll cake. Sure.
Yeah.
Lance Stroll cake.
You know, I'm not a huge Lance Stroll fan, but I will subscribe to this. You know what? You kind of edging me into this. I kind of can
Cautiously
see it.
subscribing.
Yes, cautiously subscribing.
Okay.
All right.
I guess we'll see after Sunday. And finally, it's time for our game where the points do matter. Grid Gamble. Every driver, I have a dice. Every driver is assigned a number on this dice. I don't know what we're going to do next season because there's no 22-sided dice, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I have the formula dice right here. We roll. Whatever driver we get, that's the driver we're adopting for the race, and wherever they finish, whatever points they get are the points that we get, and we're just using the normal Formula 1 point system. So for example, last race, I rolled Max and he won, so I got 25 points, and Lewis got Isaac and he got 8 points. So now with Lewis's other result of Gabriel Bortoletto at fourth, he's got 5 points total and I have 25 points total. Lewis, you get the first roll.
Okay, here we go. What do I get? Somebody good, please. Please, somebody good. Oh, that sounded heavy.
No.
Tell me it's something besides number 12.
It's exactly number 12.
Oh gosh.
Lance Stroll is
You-
number 12. Oh, no,
You're
you
really gonna.
Listen, now you need him to score
Ah.
points.
Yeah, if he yeah, I might have to buy a Lance Roll hat or something to get me good luck through this week.
If Lance Stroll gets points, you should get a Lance Stroll hat. At least for the bit.
You know what? Yeah, I will do it. I will every time he scores a point, I will like add a piece of Lance Roll memorabilia behind me just so like, that's how little I trust him.
All right, now it's my turn rolling. I rolled 7. 7 is Lewis Hamilton.
Oh. I don't know. You're rolling these dice and you got two good people last couple weeks.
Would you like me to re-roll?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I will go with it. The fates have decided.
All right. And the fates have also decided that it's time for us to wrap up Formula Friday for the week. So thank you all for joining. We will be back next Wednesday to talk about Singapore, go over any other news that might have popped out. Maybe we'll get some more silly season stuff and just fangirl over Cadillac a lot more. I'm very excited. If you have any questions or you just want to talk some wheel, you can send us an email at formulafridaypod@gmail.com. Until next time, I've been Nick. That's been Lewis. Our theme done by Patches. I still don't know how to end these things. Goodbye.